So we're going to work today to test a few different composites to evaluate for flowability with the new Phasor gun from Vista. So the new Phasor gun from Vista, I'll try to get it here for you in the image, is a composite gun that heats the composite by pressing the button in the back to a prescribed temperature, and there's 3 different temperatures on here that we could use. But in order to evaluate flowability, I felt it'd be great first to look at the flowability of SonicFill, which is Kerr's composite, phenomenal composite, bulk fill. I'm not going to compare composites because this is an animal of itself. It's a flowable bulk fill. But I want you to look at flowability of this composite because that's the beauty of these SonicFill. So we're going to take this tooth right here. We have a prep. It looks like an occlusal on here. Then I'm going to go ahead and just hopefully you'll be able to see the flowability of the composite in here. So very quickly, we fill that cavity prep. Again, that's SonicFills from Kerr. And you see that I can manipulate it pretty rapidly. And I'm not looking to cure anything here. I'm just looking to manipulate the composite. These are teeth, by the way, that have been etched and an adhesive has been placed. We use VOCO's Futura Bond as our adhesive. So very quickly, I can manipulate this still a little bit. You see it's even starting to firm up slightly, but I can start to manipulate this without any kind of a problem because the SonicFill handpiece reduces the viscosity of the composite down to about 85%, and then it quickly comes back to itself in no period of time. So that's SonicFill, and again, from a flowability perspective for a bulk fill, I think it's really an outstanding composite, and I've used a lot of it in the office, and I really do like the material itself. You can see I can still carve this, I can play with this, the handling is really still there. Now what I'm going to do is take a different animal. I'm going to use first VOCO's Admira Fusion. Admira Fusion is VOCO's composite that is made from it's actually what's called an ormesur. It's an organically modified ceramic, but it's a composite. We have this gun set to the second of the heat settings. There's a low, a medium, and a high. We see that there's 2 dots shown, and we press the button. 15 seconds it's heated, and we're going to try to get this for you in the camera that you could see the composite, how it flows out this gun. And as you see, like SonicFill, the material quickly flows out. It's soft, the gun is warm, and I can easily manipulate this any which way I want to fully seal my box if I want to there. I'm going to try to tip this up so I could see a little bit. I can fully seal this, and I can manipulate this like a creamy composite with no problem at all. Now, of course, different composites will heat differently, and it'll make things, if you want it creamier, you can just go to the higher setting. But like SonicFill, I'm able to go ahead and manipulate this, but we get it to flow out through the gun. And of course, heating composite has a lot of advantages in that besides flowability, it allows for complete conversion of the monomers, and there's a lot of studies to show about monomer conversion. So we've been heating composites for a long time, but this is kind of the newest way to do this, and that's Admira Fusion. That one's that composite actually is a firmer composite in general. But look, you could see here I can dent this with very light pressure. This is still very malleable from the heat, so you do have a good amount of working time once you heat the material in the composite. I'm now going to go ahead and use one more composite in the Vista gun. I'm going to use Estelite, and Estelite is a Tokuyama product, and very nice composite, very, very aesthetic composite. And the truth is, this is the first time I'm using Estelite in the gun. I want to see how it flows out the gun. So 15 seconds it will take to heat this material. You'll hear the beep in a second. You don't have to see it. You heard that beep. It tells me it's ready, still at the second setting. I'm going to see how Estelite flows. This is an experiment for us right here, guys. I haven't really done this with Estelite. And Estelite also flows really, really nicely out the gun without any kind of issues. And I can easily manipulate this with no problem. You can see I'm not compressing it. I'm just kind of smearing it into the cavity prep as this flowed very, very quickly right outside the gun. Now the beautiful thing is, and I'll show you this in a second, handling for composite is really what it's totally about. I mean, that's what we decide how we do things. So I'm going to go ahead and take one more composite, even though I don't really have a cavity prep on these, but I'll just show you. And I'm going to take another composite, and we're going to heat that. And this one's going to be GC's Genial Sculpt. And we're going to go ahead and heat it to the highest capacity. It'll take about 15 seconds. I'm just going to show you how it just flows at really, really high capacity. So you should be able to hear the beeps here in a second. The gun is heating. And just let's see how Genial Sculpt flows here. And look how beautiful this material flows across the buckle, really wrapping around the tooth. So it flows beautifully. Here it is from the gun itself. I'll show you my hands. Look how I can string that, and there's still a little bit more in there, so I could show you the beautiful flow of that material. I think it's a nice example of Genial Sculpt as it flows. And you could see that this firm composite is totally softened up, which once again brings us to the advantages of the Phasor gun from Vista. Even still, while I was playing with that, you see this is not recovered to its full state. I can go ahead and play with it around the tooth and things like that and move around. So you do have working time. So just a couple of clinical examples using 3 composites and in comparison to SonicFill. As we compare the Phasor from Vista, heating up a Tokuyama composite, Admira Fusion from VOCO, and finally Genial Sculpt from GC, and comparing it to the flow of SonicFill.